Today we're looking at how the pros mix together major and minor pentatonic lines to create those rich, smooth, super cool, bluesy sounding lines across a major backing track. Now we're doing it in B flat, which is a proper key, right? And the good thing about B flat is when you go to the backing tracks on YouTube, they tend to be quite jazzy, which is cool as well. So B flat was a key that was used by a lot of jazz players, and a lot of modern blues players will play in B flat as well, which is it's a very cool key. Right, so we're starting off over this B7 chord, and to start off with, we need to understand what pentatonic positions are under our fingers. Now, while I'm on the subject of pentatonic positions, I've just released a how-to guide on how to play all the pentatonic positions on my Patreon page. Now, this is a completely new system which isn't anywhere else on YouTube or anywhere on the internet that I can find, which allows you to find all the pentatonic positions. I guarantee by the end of watching the video that I've posted on Patreon, you will be able to find all the pentatonic positions 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 all over the neck straight away in any key. It's a system I've devised. I've thought about it a lot. I think it will get you playing pentatonic positions faster than anything else. So if you go onto the Patreon page, just click the link in the description or type the address that you can see on the screen now. That will show you everything you need to know. Super cheap, and it's just like, it's unmissable really. Okay, anyway, so we're thinking about this B flat chord. So right in front of you, you've got this B flat chord, this B flat 7 chord, and you've got position 2, which is the major pentatonic. And within that, you can see that chord within the scale. Okay, now we've also got position 1 of the minor pentatonic. So if I want to go major over this B flat chord, I think position 2. If I want to go minor over this B flat chord, remember I can choose either of those, right? Or I can mix them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of mix them together across this first line. So the first line you heard was this. So I kind of started off major here, right? Which is coming out position 2. And then I went minor. Right, but then I bent that minor third up a semitone up to the major third. Right, so it's more major than minor because I could do this. Yeah, I could bend from the 2 to the 3, but I'm bending from the minor third up to the third. Yeah, so instead of playing this, which would be major, or this, which would be minor, I'm mixing the 2. Yeah, and it's a really cool little line. I really like that line. I'm basically going from the 5 to the 6 to the root to the minor third, then bending up to the major third. Okay, so that's my first line. And after that, I'm doing this line. So I'll just do that again super slow. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. It's kind of diminished. It's kind of using the flat 5. That's what's going through my head. But what I'm doing is I'm descending the way I ascended. If you remember, I ascended like this. I'm descending like this. Right? Then I'm thinking flat 5, 4 minor third. So typical sort of flat 5 line. So I've got... And then I'm going to go, right, which brings me back into the major. Now this is diminished arpeggio, right? So it is a diminished arpeggio, but my thinking was to reverse the line that I did at the start, because I knew it had cool notes, and then do this flat 5, 4 minor third line, and then think, how do I get back into that major chord? That's just lovely, isn't it? And in doing so, it kind of came out as this diminished line, which I just, as soon as I played it, I thought, oh man, that's really cool. because it's got that outsidey then insidey feel, which I just love. Okay, then I do this. Tons of pros use this, going right back to the old blues guys, and it's a 6th thing. Right, I'm just coming down a tone. So that if you look at this here, it's root. Okay, there's the major 3rd, and there's a 6. But you'll hear guys do it like this all the time. So we're starting a tone below, and when we start a tone below, we get another type of B flat chord. Instead of B flat 6 here, right, we're getting the flat 7 here, we're getting the 2 here, and we're getting the 5 here. So it's like a dominant 9 chord. So we've got this sound. Yeah, and while we're on the subject of that, we could, over the E flat chord, go. It's the same deal, yeah? The shape changes because of the B string. Then over there. Then we could go over the F chord, E flat, B. Just great to chuck in. So after that, we go into the 4 chord, which in this case is E flat. And all I'm doing is I'm seeing that chord, I'm seeing the major 3rd, and I'm walking up to it chromatically. And you'll hear loads of guys doing that. And then to the root. Right, and I'm just going back and forth between the root and that major 3rd. And that's something I heard Matt Schofield doing, and it's just in my head, and I just kind of nicked it off him. Now I've got to get back to the root of the B flat chord, because it's going back to B flat. So after I've done this, I'm just doing that line very similar to I did at the start, where I'm bending the minor 3rd up to the major 3rd. Then playing the 9, yeah, and then coming down to the root. So I'm creating a path back to the B flat chord, and this is something the pros do all the time, creating little paths. Josh Smith talks about it constantly, little paths from one chord to the other chord. Over the E flat chord, I didn't just play the major 3rd, did I? There's my path, yeah, back to the B flat chord. There's my path again. So it's creating little pathways all the time, which leads the ear to the chord. It's not like here's the chord. It's not like sort of banging you in the face with here's the chord. It's like gently, I'm going to suggest what chords come in. Here it comes, right? You're kind of doing that, which is very cool. So next what I'm doing is I'm over the B flat chord, and I'm seeing the 6, and I'm playing the 6. The 6 sounds cool. It's got a very sweet country sound to it. Sounds great over a major blues. And I'm doing the 6 to the root, and then the minor 3rd to the major 3rd. That minor 3rd to major 3rd thing, you almost can't overplay it. It's just so cool. Simple line, but it sounds fabulous. Then over the next chord, I'm doing something like a line like that, where I'm thinking, some people call this the slash scale, where you've got, and it's kind of, it's minor. So I'm thinking B flat minor, and I'm filling in the gaps, putting the 2 in there, the 6 there, and here's my flat 5. And it just gives me this symmetrical shape. So I'm sure he just did it because it's just a nice pretty shape, isn't it? But and it's easy to play fast. Yeah, and I'm just doing something like that. And I'm also giving it emphasis on these offbeats. I'm going pick, pick, pull off. And that gives it quite a cool jazzy feel, quite almost syncopated. Rather than this, which is just a bit plain. Yeah, that's very hip. And I'm working back to that note in anticipation of moving back up to this B flat here. Yeah, I'm sliding up there. I'm landing on that note because I'm seeing my B flat here, and I'm working back to the B flat there. Yeah, because that's the note I want to target, because I want to hit that over the B flat chord. So again, I've created a little path. Yeah, but not gone. I've gone with these little slides. Again, to create some little sort of hip cool lines. And then right at the end, before it turns back to the start, I'm then doing a Dorian melodic minor line, which I've just totally nicked off Mike Stern, which is this. Now this is just super cool. And it's, you know, Mike Stern, you don't get much more pro than Mike Stern, do you? So I'm thinking B flat minor pentatonic. Right, and then just going down a semitone, same shape look, and sliding back. I mean, even if you just get that, I mean, that's really cool on its own. So I'm putting in the major seventh, which is out of melodic minor. That. And I'm doing that. Yeah. Okay. Picking inside, so I'm going down, up, hammer on. Then I'm doing an enclosure around this note. So 6, 9, 6, 7, 8. Again, super cool. So that's the target note. But I'm filling in notes in a kind of chromatic way around it to target it, and then finishing on the B flat. I mean, that is just fabulous. And then I'm just finishing. Just with a flurry of pentatonic stuff. Just fill in that space before it comes back to the one chord again. But the takeouts over this are that I'm really thinking about every note that I'm playing. Every note that I'm playing, I understand how all the intervals work over it, and that's what makes the line sound really good. And if we go back to the start, you know, I told you what all those intervals are because it's important, because that's what's going through my head when I'm designing this, when I'm playing it. Yeah, I didn't improvise that. I came up with it. I could improvise something similar, but I designed it. I sat and played it for a few minutes to come up with the lines, you know, to get it all just really good and think about the intervals that I was playing and then put it all together. And also I know how these intervals will sound in my head. I'm not thinking as I'm playing it. I'm not thinking 5, 6, root, minor third to major third. But I know that's what's happening, and when I've kind of thought about all this stuff and sort of practiced it, those are the things I am thinking, and then they become automatic. Eventually I get to know how that sounds. I can hear it in my head, do-do-do-do, yeah, and then I'll just pull it out the bag. Yeah, but it's come from understanding how the intervals work, and it's the same as walking up to the major third of the 4 chord. I know how it sounds. So when I'm playing, in my head, I hear that sound and I want to recreate it, and my brain makes that link with those notes and those intervals and those sequences of intervals to create those sounds. So some super cool lines there for you to get your teeth into. Don't forget to check out the Patreon thing, which will teach you all those pentatonic positions by the end of the lesson, guaranteed. I think it's a very exciting system that I've come up with, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Catch you next time.